Hey guys, welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm going to be doing a very quick tutorial on how to use Final Cut Pro. I'm just going to talk about all the basics you need to edit your video and then upload to YouTube channel or whatever you want to do with it. Alright, so let's get to it. Hey, welcome back. So one of the things I would like to recommend is to buy an external hard drive, and I'm talking about an SSD external hard drive that will make your reading and writing process really fast, especially if you have a slower computer or a computer which is not so new and cannot handle the heaviness of Final Cut Pro. So I recommend getting an external hard drive, an SSD hard drive, solid state hard drive with 1000 megabits per second read and write speed. So I'm going to be going over some of the basic features in random order. So I'm just going to go through various options and talk about how to split the clip, how to import, all those things. All right, so this is what the Final Cut Pro interface looks like, and the first thing you'd be doing would be connecting your external SSD hard drive to your computer, and then we're gonna go to File and choose New, and the first thing you want to be doing is creating a library, and all of your files, your library, your events, everything is gonna be saved in the external hard drive. It'll just make the editing process fast. All right, so we're just gonna label our library as test here, test lib ry, and save it. And now we can see that right over here. So this is our test library. The other thing we want to be doing right now is going back to File and choosing Event. Now Event is where all your files will be saved. So we'll just call this test event, and that's today's date. All right, I don't know what that one is doing there, but here we go. Okay, so now as you can see here, we got the test event, and this is our test library. And the next step we want to be doing is import some files, right? Okay, so I'm gonna choose some files. I'm gonna pick this. Let's choose this. All right, let's pick this file, and we'll choose intro theme, and we'll pick a couple of JPEG images as well, just to talk about how to have images in picture-in-picture format. Now where did my file go? Intro theme, and all right, let's pick this file. All right, and now on the right hand side here you can actually see that Final Cut Pro gives you the option where you would like to store your files, in which test library do you want to do that. And we've picked test event, and these features here, files, we just leave them as they are default. Transcode, now this is a little bit critical. If you have files of different sizes and frame rates and whatnot, it's good to choose create optimized media. It'll take a little bit longer, but it'll optimize all the files, all the media files. But if you just want a quick edit and you know that all your files have similar sizes, resolution, just click on create proxy media. That's the one I normally use. All right, the rest of the stuff you just leave as it is and import. Now guys, it's important, like once you've actually done all the imports, created all the library, so this step is actually very critical to do. All right, now we have to create a new project so we can have a new timeline. So we click on new project, And here you can name the project, and we'll call this test project. Very fancy names. Test project. And you can choose the video resolution, and I'm gonna stick with 4K, but you can have it to whatever you like. Frame rate, another critical bit. I shoot most of my videos in 24 frames per second, so we'll just leave it to this. Rendering, leave it to Apple Pro Resolution 422. Everything else looks good. Stereo, okay. So now you've created your library, events, created a new project, imported the files, and let's go on and start editing. So let's drag our main file into the timeline. All right, so the first thing that I like to do is that zoom in and out of my timeline, and there's two ways to do it. The shortcut way would be press Command and press plus button on your keyboard to zoom in, or minus Command minus to zoom out. All right, so there we go, that's zoomed in, and Command minus to zoom out. All right, the other way to do that would be on the right hand side here. You can see it. There's a magnifying option, and you can zoom in and zoom out of your timeline just like so. So that's pretty cool. All right, the other quick feature that I want to talk about is that this little red line. So any bits and pieces in your project that you're working on, this red line needs to hover on top of it for you to be able to make any kind of an edit on it. If this red line is away from your segment, it's not gonna do any editing, and you won't be able to do any editing. Let's start with the number one editing tool, which is the cut, the blade. So the quick command for that is you come to the area where you wanna edit, and you hold Command and you press B on your keyboard, and now you have actually split your clip. Most important feature which is used by everybody. All right, what else? Let's say you want to do a picture-in-picture effect, right? All right, so we've got two options, a video picture-in-picture, or do you want to do an image picture-in-picture? So let's start with the video. I'm gonna drag this file on top of my timeline, and if you look over here in the middle, this squarish looking red blue box, you can click the drop down menu and choose transform. Here you can do the transformation or cropping or distort, and let's go over the transform feature. This window gets highlighted, and all you got to do is pull this clip back in, and now you'd be able to have this picture-in-picture effect very nicely. And the great thing with Final Cut Pro is that you can have multiple video clips and images as picture-in-picture. All right, so let's demonstrate another one. If you want to have one on the bottom, I suppose we can actually do that too. Let's try with this image. Oops. All right. Let's take this image and let's bring it down here. Okay, so we click on this image. Sorry, I meant to bring it up here. And now you can have another picture added. Let's add it on top of this timeline, so it'll be in the same frame. All right, so let's say you're talking about something, and you can also show an image and a video clip. So now if it's gonna play, I'm just gonna mute it so it doesn't make any sound. Now you can have the video being played in a little window up on the top and the image being shown. So you can have multiple stacks in Final Cut Pro on top of your timeline. Great feature to have, which is impossible to do in iMovies. All right, let's talk about some cropping bits. Let's go back to our image. Make sure this red line is on top of the segment that we want to play around with. Let's move this segment here in the middle. Okay, if you want to crop it, you'll have 3 options: trim it, crop it, or do the Ken Burns. And I'll talk about the Ken Burns in a sec. All right, so I just want to crop this bit and have it in this little rectangular box like form, and you can move this rectangular box anywhere in your video in the picture-in-picture effect, however you like to do. And once you're done, you just press done here. But so that's how you do the trimming. But if you want to do the cropping, then you can do this bit over here, and it'll just kind of like zoom in into that little section. This little tool is handy if you've got a headshot and you want to zoom into that, especially when you're making talking head videos, and it's pretty handy with that. So you can, once you're done, you just press on done, but I'm just going to reset it and go back. All right, let's talk about Ken Burns. Ken Burns is pretty cool, especially in images. So let's say I want to have a slow pan zoom in on an object or something. We can easily do that by going here once again in this little square box and click on crop, and from here choose Ken Burns effect. And what this does, I'll point out to you guys now. Let's say move this over here so we can focus on the engine of this tram, and I'll show you guys how this works. All right, let's click on done, and now if you start playing this video, we'll see the Ken Burns effect. All right, you can see that it's slowly zooming into the engine area. So I really like this effect, and comes in super handy when you're making talking head videos and you want to display an image and you want to just zoom in. It just creates that little bit of a dramatic effect, and it's pretty cool. All right, that's that. Let's talk about some effects. So on the right hand side, if you come over here, you see this little bit over here, this little figure, this little shape, and this is where you can actually do the transitions. So let's say you want to transition between, let's add another clip here. Let's bring this down over here. Let's say you want to transition between this video clip and this little segment over here. You can create all sorts of different effects. Let's choose this 3D rectangular effect, and you just drop it right. Oops. You can just drop it right in the create transition. Yes, there we go. Right in the middle of the two video clips. So now when you play this bit, it'll look like so, and that's pretty cool. And there are lots of different effects you can choose from. There's tons of these little transition effects. I really like to use these, especially if you're talking about something and then all of a sudden you want to change the topic. It's pretty cool to actually introduce this little transition between the two video segments. Okay. The other thing I want to talk about is, let's close this effects window and let's go to the top left hand side corner of Final Cut Pro right over here. if you click on this music icon here, you can import sound effects. And if you have your own music, you can actually add music to your own videos. So if you click on sound effect, Final Cut Pro gives you a whole range of options to choose from: jingles, spots, machines, textures like sounds, sci-fi sounds, theme music. There's just tons and tons. So let's pick one from here and see what it sounds like. And they all have different lengths, anywhere between 32 seconds to just about a minute long as well here. Okay, so let's say I want to add some music to my video clip right at the beginning. All right, we'll just trim this down just like so. Oh yeah, here's another option. If you want to trim a clip, you just drag it and trim it onto the left hand side or to the right hand side. Okay, to turn down the volume of your video, you can just hover your mouse on top of this little section over here. This is just all the audio which is inside your video clip, and it gives you an option to drop down the audio or increase the decibels. And here I'm just going to drop it down because I'm introducing a music segment. So let's hear this out. I'm just going to turn the volume up and see what that sounds like. All right, so adding music, it's pretty cool, especially to your B-roll videos. It just makes the videos a whole lot more exciting, and that's awesome. Let's talk about text. Adding different types of text to your videos. So when you click on the left hand side top corner where it says T, it'll give you a whole range of options of different types of fonts and texts that you could use. All right, so this is very similar to the text section in iMovie. So let's pick on custom. It's simple, and we just bring it and drag it on top of a timeline. Very simple. And once you're ready to add any kind of text, you just double click on it, and it should give you the option to type down whatever you like to type. So let's say we'll say text, and it's done. And you can also move the text wherever you want to do. In iMovies you weren't able to do this, but in Final Cut Pro you have this option to move your text wherever you like to, and that's pretty cool. And if you look on the right hand side, you can change the font, you can change the font size too, just by sliding back and forth, and that's pretty cool. And what else you can do? Lots of different things. You can change the spacing, caps, whatnot. So tons of features in Final Cut Pro that you can play around with. Let's see, have I covered most of the things? I think I have. All right, cool. All right, guys. Let's say now you're ready to actually transfer your file clip that you've created. I'm just gonna delete this bit because I don't need that. Let's say you have this little video clip that you've created for YouTube and you're ready to export it. You go onto the right hand side and there's this little up arrow button just like iMovies. You click on that and you can export file on its own. But if you're going to be posting it onto YouTube, which I do and lots of others do, then you click on YouTube and Facebook. Now here it'll give you the option to name your project or name your video file. You can just check that the resolution is correct. It's 4K, frame rate is good, and you can add tags, and you can actually add the description, and then you just click on next and save it onto an external hard drive. Now with Final Cut Pro 10, the software doesn't let you post the video directly to YouTube. You first have to save it onto your hard drive or your external hard drive and then upload it to YouTube. Alright guys, just some quick basics for Final Cut Pro, and hopefully this video was helpful and you can get started and learn a lot of new features which are hidden inside Final Cut Pro, and you can develop your skills in Final Cut Pro after going through these quick basics. Alright, thank you so much for watching this video. If you're new to my channel, make sure to like, comment and subscribe. I post vlogs, I do a lot of tech review, I review vinyl records, review guitar gear, guitars, amplifiers, you name it. Thank you once again for watching this video clip, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.